How's it going, everybody? So right now I'm actually cooking myself some food. It's extremely late. It's about 2 a.m. where I live right now. But I have been obsessively digging deep in the research over the last couple days on fruit and vegetable intake and the evidence behind their health claims, because I have an obsessive urge to get to the bottom of this and to find the truth. Interestingly enough, looking at myself in my camera window, I notice I look like my eyes, the bags under my eyes have healed, and my skin looks so much healthier since I started this ketogenic diet 6 months ago. Anyway, I'm doing my best to stay away from being biased, and so I'm reading just a summary of an article. This article is from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, and I can post the link down below. Hopefully I will, unless I'm a fool, right? So let me read just a snippet real quick, and then I'll kind of discuss some of this. So, the largest and longest study to date. This is a study that I've actually been hearing a lot about, reading Gary Taubes' books and some of the other books I've been reading. The Harvard-based Nurses Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. It included almost 110,000 men and women whose health and dietary habits were followed for 14 years. That's a lot of people, and that's a long time. The higher the average daily intake of fruits and vegetables, the lower the chances of developing cardiovascular disease. Compared with those in the lowest category of fruit and vegetable intake, less than 1.5 servings a day, those who averaged 8 or more servings a day of fruits and vegetables were 30% less likely to have had a heart attack or stroke. Although all fruits and vegetables likely contributed to this benefit, it was the green leafy vegetables such as lettuce, spinach, Swiss chard, and mustard greens that were most strongly associated with decreased risk of cardiovascular disease. Cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, and kale, and citrus fruits such as oranges, lemons, limes, and grapefruit, and their juices also made important contributions. Then, when researchers combined these findings with several other long-term studies in the United States and Europe, and looked at coronary heart disease and stroke separately, they found a similar protective effect. Individuals who ate more than 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day had roughly a 20% lower risk of coronary heart disease and stroke compared with individuals who ate less than 3 servings a day. Okay, so that's 5 servings a day compared to people who ate less than 3, which that's not really that big of a difference actually, as far as the quantity of fruits and vegetable intake. 3 servings versus 5, not a big difference. But so this is just for cardiovascular disease, and essentially this article goes on to describe basically the same benefits for fruits and vegetable intake on blood pressure and cancer and all of the rest of these things studied. So let me kind of explain this a little bit, because a lot of people, and this article included, they interpret these studies the wrong way. So first of all, let me just say that that's significant, very significant, up to a 30% decrease in your risk of cardiovascular disease. And then combining all of those studies together, and those results remain consistent. That's a lot of people. With all those studies combined, it's hundreds of thousands, almost millions of people studied. So that's a pretty consistent result. Now here's the thing though, okay? First, think about it this way. What type of people are going to be eating over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day? What type of people are going to eat more than 10 servings of kale, to more than 10 servings of broccoli, kale, lettuce, cauliflower, greens, yada yada, Swiss chard? What type of people eat that much spinach and vegetables? Health conscious people usually, right? How many people do you know that eat hydrogenated oils, that eat, baked like donuts and stuff like that drink sodas? How many people eat the junk food and then also eat, 5 servings of vegetables a day? Generally, no one just by accident eats 5 servings of vegetables a day. The people that eat that much fruits and vegetables, the amount of fruits and vegetables that were actually shown to be protective in these studies, those are the types of people that really care about their health. Those are the types of people that avoid all the things that most people know cause diseases. And this is not just the typical confounding factors that are typically controlled for, like smoking and alcohol. This is, they probably exercise far more. The more fruits and vegetables someone eats, the more exercise they probably participate in. They're probably marathon runners. Stuff like that. They probably shop at health food stores. The quality of all of their food is probably higher. They're probably more likely to take supplements, herbal supplements, vitamins that might be deficient in. They're more likely to take things like vitamin D and omega-3s. These are the types of people that count calories, that look at their RDIs, and make sure they get all of their vitamins and minerals and log their food in chronometer. These are the types of people that most likely aren't, if you are making that kind of effort to consume that much vegetation, green vegetables and whatnot, you're probably not going to sabotage that very easily by going and cheating on your diet more than once a week. So the more healthy food people are eating, the less unhealthy food people tend to eat. And so this is called the healthy user bias. And this is very important when you're interpreting studies. And it's really crazy to me that so many people, they read these types of studies and then they automatically result towards, okay, so because of all these studies, that means you should eat 10 servings of broccoli a day, because it's been shown that these fruits and vegetables cause greater health outcomes. And this is the thing. So these findings are absolutely significant, and I think it's smart to emulate all of the activities that the healthiest people in the world are participating in. And so it would make sense to align yourself with the fruit and vegetable intake of the people in this study. There's a clear correlation between more fruits and vegetables that you eat, the greater the health outcomes. So it makes no sense to ignore this. If you actually can eat those fruits and vegetables, you should do it, is what I'm saying. But at the same time, it is false to assume, it's false to believe 100% that these studies say fruit and vegetable intake are causing these results because of the healthy user bias. And it's really weird to me, because I have these weird people. I have people that get triggered and butthurt, and they misinterpret what I'm saying, and they post down below telling me I'm an idiot because I'm an idiot because I'm doubting the benefits of fruits and vegetables. And it seems like they don't actually listen to what I'm saying. They don't listen to, maybe they don't watch my videos, they just read the title, I don't know. But healthy user bias is a very rational and logical thing to point out. And it's not like you don't have to follow you don't have to be like rejecting fruits and vegetables just because the evidence is not solid, you know? Because the evidence is not solid that fruits and vegetables cause greater health outcomes. The evidence is solid that the people who eat more fruits and vegetables are generally healthier and have greater health outcomes, far greater health outcomes. The difference is people who eat more fruits and vegetables is not the same as fruits and vegetables cause. So people who eat more fruits and vegetables have greater health outcomes. It's not the same as fruits and vegetables cause greater health outcomes. It's not the same thing. And this is what correlation, this is the difference between correlation and causation. Correlation is people who eat more fruits and vegetables have greater health outcomes. So there's a correlation. There is fruits and vegetable intake and greater health outcomes. Those are correlated. But again, what about the avoidance of toxic foods? What about the higher rates of exercise these people generally will be participating in by default? What about the lack of, all things that probably contribute to diseases that people who eat 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day probably adhere to? Can you imagine, like, just the average family spending extra money on broccoli, kale, spinach, citrus fruits, grapefruits? That's a lot of money to be spending if you don't really care too much about your health. Generally, the only people who spend that much more money on those types of foods and eat more of those foods are people who really, really invest in their health. And those people are not going to be eating all of these other foods that are probably causing disease. So, like saying fruit and vegetable intake, higher fruit and vegetable intake causes greater health outcomes, or even kind of hinting that is kind of like similar to saying that as long as you eat 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, it doesn't matter if you eat potato chips and these other things. It's not the same thing, but it's missing the picture. It's missing what's actually going on here. The point is general, like an overall healthy lifestyle. If you eat more fruits and vegetables, if you exercise on a daily basis in a vigorous capacity, if you have happy relationships and you have a positive attitude, stress reduction, you have a good, intimate life, and you practice healthy human intimacy in various forms. You all know what kind of forms I'm talking about. You get good sleep, or even decent sleep, because again, sleep also suffers from the unhealthy user bias. Like people who get less sleep are usually the types of people who are overworked, overstressed, and they generally are slamming down Starbucks coffees and stuff. Unless you're my friend Bryce, who says he only gets 2 hours of sleep, works 18-hour shifts back to back sometimes, because he's a police officer, and he's following the carnivore diet to keep him alive, to keep him awake and aware on such low sleep. People, they don't realize how hard that job is. It's very hard. There's a reason why a lot of them get paid so much. But anyway, guys, I'm just saying, it's really not irrational to question the benefits of fruits and vegetables, but it's also not irrational to assume that fruits and vegetables cause greater health outcomes. It's just when you assert that and you say, if you don't eat fruits and vegetables, you're going to develop all these diseases and blah blah blah. The evidence really is not solid. There's not actually a causal link between fruit and vegetable intake and greater health outcomes. Like if you take a super unhealthy person and the only fact, you put him in a metabolic ward for 15 years, and you just add fruits and vegetables to his diet, the 10 servings a day that were found in the correlative studies, and that's the only factor you change, and then he gets great health benefits because of it, but he's still eating donuts, still doing all the same crap he was inside this metabolic ward for 14 years. If those fruits and vegetables make a difference, well then, there's a causal link. Unfortunately, with nutrition science, it's damn near impossible to make a study like that, and that's why they don't exist. And so it only makes sense to eat these fruits and vegetables if you can. But the reason why I emphasize this is because there's a whole lot of people who really want to be as healthy as they can, but they can't eat these fruits and vegetables because they have autoimmune diseases that prevent them from consuming these foods without harmful side effects. And for a lot of these people, no matter what you want to tell yourself, they seem to have an extreme, like they have an autoimmune reaction to plant foods. It's weird. And some people, they just need to avoid grains. For example, like myself, whole grains and whatnot have always made me feel, always caused me extreme problems, which I've talked about in the past. And so trying to eat, brown rice and trying to eat oatmeal or quinoa or amaranth, trying to eat these whole grains just to get this health benefit that these studies say, it doesn't make sense if I'm suffering from psoriasis and irritable bowel syndrome for months just to get these benefits that these studies claim I'll get. Instead, it makes more sense to remove the foods that are harming me regardless of what the paper says, the information says, and do what makes me healthiest in an observable, tangible, noticeable way. And so maybe you can get yourself to digest these foods without these problems, and maybe it'll be beneficial to do so. But if you're like, some people, they get these problems and then they're like, well, damn, if I can't eat fruits and vegetables, I'm not going to be healthy. I can't digest these fruits and vegetables, so there's no chance of me ever being healthy, and they just give up altogether. And they're just like, fuck it, I'll just eat whatever I want then. There's no point. And it's like, that's not how this all works. So it's unfortunate because most people that advocate high fruit and vegetable intake, like vegans, for example, they just can't accept the possibility that some people might not be able to eat like them. And that some people have legitimate health problems that can't be overcome by Goji Man and his tests or whatever. That maybe these people really do just need to eat a meat-based diet or something like that. Anyway, again, I'm not advocating a keto diet. I'm not advocating a carnivore diet. I'm not advocating any of this. I'm not telling people plant foods are going to hurt them, obviously. And that's another thing, is these people who think that fruits and vegetables are toxic and they kill you and all this crap. I mean, based on these studies, these people are getting significantly better health outcomes with the higher their fruit and vegetable intake is. So maybe it's not the fruit and vegetables causing their good health outcomes, but maybe these fruits and vegetables aren't hurting them, obviously, because if it was, they definitely wouldn't be having such a lower rate of a risk of diseases, So that's why I can't vibe with these people who like talk down on fruit and vegetable intake, such as Farage, which I love his channel, don't get me wrong, but his sense of logic and reality is very, very biased, and it is what it is. Just, I don't want people to think that I'm like aligning with that. I don't want people to blindly believe in any kind of guru, because then you fall victim to that irrational mindset that fruit and vegetables are going to kill people when they clearly don't. Not to mention, all of the blue zones, they eat a large amounts of plant foods as well as animal foods. So if plant foods were so bad, then they probably wouldn't be the longest living populations on the planet. Again, not to say that they're causing their longevity, but you guys get the picture. So leave your questions, comments down below. Leave your concerns in the comment section. I'll talk to you in the next video.